It's time for The Instigator, the in-your-face hockey podcast that is loaded with controversy and criticism. This hockey talk rant will spark your hockey thoughts and opinions. When controversy happens in the hockey world, The Instigator is there to fire off their opinion. You may agree, but you just might wholeheartedly disagree. That's what brings you back. Get ready for in-your-face hockey talk and controversy. The Instigator is hosted by Burud and is a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio.
Good evening and welcome to The Instigator, episode number 53. We're recording on April 29th, 2021. I am the host of the show, Brad Burud, from Inside Edge Hockey News. And yeah, The Instigator. It's got a name for a reason. And tonight, I am going to stir the pot a little bit. Hear me out on this one, though. Vegas Golden Knights goalie speaks the truth. Robin Lehner's feelings, he spoke them. His opinion. And he was shunned by the NHL and politically influenced. What the hell is going on in our countries where political influence is affecting a pandemic and now is creeping into sports? Sports is my escape from this bullshit. And now it creeps in to each and every sport. That's what we're talking about today on The Instigator. A big thanks goes out to our sponsor, Raise Energy, the only energy drink that has no crash, no bloated gut feeling, and great flavors. 12 flavors now to choose from. I got about 8 of them I really like. Promo code Instigator gets you 15% off. Head on over to Rep Sports and order yourself some Raise Energy.
Inside Edge Hockey News. Dropping the gloves and stirring the pot.
All right, hockey fans, we're going to get a little wild and crazy on the show today. You know, one of the great things about Canada and the U.S. is freedom of speech. Being able to have your own opinion. Now, what I talk about on the show today, probably half of you will think I'm crazy. The other half will think I'm right on the money. But I'm getting frustrated because I'm not a political person. And in my life, it hasn't been a factor in hardly any of my life up until the last few years. But I see the destruction and everything that's happening in our world. And it's frustrating. And quite honestly, it's scary. I like my freedom. I love the country of the United States. Quite honestly, I love Canada. I live right by Canada, and I enjoy visiting and spending quite a bit of time up in Canada. So I have a lot of respect for both countries. And one of the things I'm proud of for both countries is freedom of speech. But unfortunately, in the last few years, that's been in question. Why are we not allowed to say what we think? Robin Lehner, goaltender for the Golden Knights, sparked discussion and controversy last Wednesday when he spoke out against the NHL's COVID-19 protocols and overall approach to the mental health during the pandemic. As he said at the press conference table, he spoke his mind. He was emotional, and he claimed that the NHL promised players a more relaxed version of the current protocols once players were vaccinated. He said even though the majority of Golden Knights players now have been vaccinated, received their shots, the league has not followed through on those promises. He quoted, to be promise something is going to change to take a vaccine, where some people, some players were on the verge of not taking it, but took it for this reason. That was why Robin Lehner took it. He said, I wasn't sure, but I took it. I took it for mental health so that we could have more freedoms. And after they took it and they followed what they were told the protocols were, the protocols didn't change. NHL Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly quickly disputed Lehner's claim. And shortly after he spoke publicly, he talked again over the phone with The Athletic, who first published this article, which is an amazing article, and you need to go to The Athletic to read it. I'll have the link on the website. It's definitely a must read. And anyways, Daly went on to say that the NHL never promised those relaxed things, those relaxed specifications, and we'll go into that further here in a minute. Lehner said they were presented with an option that if 85% of the team was vaccinated, that the rules would change. He said they showed us the NBA protocols for all the stages, and that was what was agreed upon. And here's some of those. I pulled up the NBA's protocols. After a team was vaccinated, they could wear no mask. They were allowed to have no masks in practice facilities. Fully vaccinated individuals on the road who were more flexible to leave the team hotel twice a day, 60 minutes per outing. Meals would be served on the airplanes. Dine indoors or outdoors at restaurants. PCR tests can be earlier in the day before 5 p.m. In-person team meetings would be allowed. Evidently, that is what the NHL, or maybe it's the Golden Knights, promised these players to get them to take the vaccine. Once they did and complied, they weren't warranted those things. And Lehner went on to say being lied to about things changing to kind of force us to take the vaccine is unacceptable. And now that we've taken the vaccine, to say, nah, we're not going to change because of competitive advantage, because some of the teams, such as Canada, don't have the vaccine available to them, which is another craziness that isn't probably another topic for another show. It's frustrating. And I understand his frustrations, and I'm going to voice a few of my frustrations. Think about this, people. Who's more at risk of spreading this to the public? The gentleman checking you out at Walmart or the center for the Vegas Golden Knights? Who has more contact with people? Walmart employee. The Vegas Golden Knights guys on the ice, fans are in the stands way more than 6 feet away. Players are not making public appearances. They're in less contact than anybody else. But yet we're okay in society to have the guy at Walmart checking us out, interacting, and he never gets tested. But yet the hockey player has to get tested routinely. Doesn't make any sense. Does not make sense. How about the worry about the isolation that we're putting these players through, the mental health going through that? Why is that not important? When are we going to wake up on this pandemic? Yeah, it's dangerous. Precautions need to be made. But life cannot stop forever. Cannot. It's funny how states in the U.S. used to report number of cases, but now they report percentage of increase. It's to promote doom and gloom. It's to make things look worse than they are. And no, I don't need 50 million emails of hate. I understand this is a disease. I've had it in my own family. Or not a... It's real. People are sick. People are dying from it. But we've been misled with so much misinformation about this that it's stymied people's trust. The CDC originally said, oh, this lives on countertops for 4 days, and then retracted that. Well, where did they come up with the 4 days? Are they just lying to us? Mask work, you need to have 12 feet distance. Nope, 6 feet distance. You have to see any proof that masks work. You should double mask now. What? Where are we coming up with these things? Vaccinated people should mask and remain 6 feet apart. Well, what the hell are we getting the vaccine for if you can still get it and transfer it after you've had the vaccine? That doesn't make any sense. If I get the polio vaccine today, I don't get polio. And I can't transmit polio. That is what vaccines should do. But now they're telling us, oh yeah, even though you got the vaccine, you need to do all these things. It's called control. It's called control. Sports used to be my escape from politics and crap. And now these players are having to go through this and get told one thing and then not follow through. Like, I'd love the National Hockey League, and I think 99% of what this league does operates very, very good. Makes a lot of right decisions. But if this is 100% true, this is embarrassing. It's funny, Texas is holding full stadiums of baseball, no breakouts. It's amazing how that works, right? It's frustrating. This whole COVID thing is scared everybody, and rightfully so. Most of us in our lifetime had never dealt with a pandemic, and it's scary. It was scary for me. I don't think anybody, felt comfortable with it. But to continue the fear and to bring up more fear, when people are being careful, we've changed our lifestyles. We want to change our lifestyles. But we would have been better off in the beginning if they would have just flat out said, this is new. We have no idea. We're going to use the utmost precaution and move along. And we all would have done that. But that's not. We've been told one thing and evidence shows another. But we're supposed to just go along. We're just supposed to be just fine with it. I miss hockey. I miss hockey with fans. I miss interaction. I miss hearing the crowd cheer. I miss a lot of things. And I worry if we're ever going to get them back. Theo Fleury put out an amazing tweet today. And he's been outspoken about this, and he's received a lot of criticism for it. And I'm betting that I probably will for this podcast. But I'll preface that by saying, I care about human life. I care about my friends. I care about my family, and I care about my neighbors. I don't want anybody sick. I don't want anybody dying. I also don't want my kids having to wear a mask the rest of their lives. When things happen in this world, we learn to adapt. We learn to alter our lifestyle. We don't completely change our lifestyle. It's time that we stop the fear. It's time to be cautious, but it's time to move forward. Theo Fleury's tweet today said, just a reminder, a genuinely deadly pandemic doesn't require 24/7 advertising to remind you it exists. Real pandemics don't need marketing campaigns and endless propaganda. But psychological operations do. I couldn't agree more. I'd be all for this if it was the medical professionals talking and not our politicians talking. I have no idea why politicians are nosing in on medical professionals? No idea. But I do know one thing, that if the government truly cared about our health, they wouldn't be worrying about us wearing masks. They wouldn't be allowing cigarettes to be sold. We know that kills people, and our government allows it to be sold. You want to know why? Because the politicians get their pockets lined by the tobacco companies. So, keep that in mind, everybody. They're going to make us wear masks to protect us because we're not smart enough to protect ourselves. But they're okay with us smoking cigarettes because the line's their pocket. So health doesn't matter, but money talks. I also find it funny, getting back to supports, that fans and media and leagues want players to be more expressive. They want them to show their real personality. Robin Lehner did that. He spoke his opinion. He was expressive and he showed his true feelings. And guess what? He got shut down and shunned. It's embarrassing. I know if I was an athlete, I wouldn't say shit. Wouldn't say shit. And you know what? I am pretty sure that a lot of athletes will start following what I just said. It's too risky to talk in this world anymore. You get shunned down for everything. And I'm sure many will shun me for this. But really, listen to what I said. And remember, it's okay to have an opinion. And you know what? It's okay to disagree to opinions. It's the way this world's always worked. And it's okay. Doesn't mean any of us are less of a human. Thanks for listening to The Instigator. Hope you join me next week again for another great episode of The Instigator. Check out Inside Edge Hockey News for all your hockey news. Good evening. Enjoy the push to the playoffs.
Raise Energy.
Raise Energy.
Raise Energy
is better than any other energy drink out there.
Ooh. Wow. That's my favorite one.
It tastes bomb.
Really good.
0 calories.
0 sugar.
0 carb.
No crash. What? I'm serious.
You're not going to get that crash.
I did not feel a crash whatsoever.
I'll drink it, I'll kill my workout, and I'll go back and I'll kill the rest of the day at work.
It's not too carbonated to where right after I'm burping up a storm.
Not just great for staying up late, saying final, I'm about to go work out.
Felt good, energy-wise. I'm still hyped from the Rays. I'm loving it, man.
Get connected. Inside Edge Hockey News can be found on Twitter at Inside Edge Hockey. You can also check out the Facebook page, Inside Edge Hockey News. Check out host Brad Burud on Twitter at Brad Burud. And if you like what you hear, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Check us out on all major podcast players, and consider subscribing to the Inside Edge Hockey News on Patreon.
Thanks for listening to The Instigator. Check back for future episodes or download the show on your favorite podcatcher. Keep up to date with all the hockey news at Inside Edge Hockey News. And check us out on all forms of social media. Until next rant, take care and enjoy the hockey action.
This has been a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio, copyrighted and distributed by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.